Deep in the heart of Central Asia lies a wasteland where a sea once teemed with life. This is the Aral Sea, a victim of human ambition and a stark reminder of the delicate balance between nature and progress. Today, we explore the story of the Aral Sea's collapse, its devastating impact, and the ongoing fight for its revival. In the Central Asian country of Uzbekistan, each September marks the start of the school year. However, instead of returning to classrooms, students are sent to vast cotton fields to harvest by hand. This practice is mandatory, no parental consent is sought, and it lasts for 2 months. Depending on their age, children must gather between 20 to 60 kilograms of cotton daily. Failing to meet these quotas results in public ridicule the next morning. Those who live far from their assigned fields often have to sleep in sheds alongside farming machinery and animals, with no kitchens or bathrooms. It's not just school children who are affected. Cotton harvesting in Uzbekistan involves the largest seasonal labor mobilization globally, with 2 million workers, including 500,000, who are forced into labor. Cotton fields account for 45% of Uzbekistan's economy, which is significant given the country's arid climate. Uzbekistan is doubly landlocked, experiencing only 2 to 9 inches of annual rainfall, insufficient to sustain extensive cotton plantations naturally. The water for these fields comes from an ambitious, if misguided, Soviet-era project to reshape nature. If you look at geography textbooks from the 1960s, you'll find the Aral Sea listed among the world's largest lakes. However, subsequent editions show it steadily declining in size, now ranking 22nd if considered as a single body of water. Over 5 decades, the Aral Sea has lost 90% of its original surface area, which equates to a loss of 1% of Earth's surface freshwater. Once a thriving ecological and economic hub, the Aral Sea's decline is one of history's worst human-made environmental disasters, often referred to as the silent Chernobyl. This catastrophe has led to modern child slavery, biological weapon leaks, severe climate change, high infant mortality rates, and cancer rates 20 times the global average. Central Asia's history has been shaped by 2 major bodies of water, the Caspian Sea and the Aral Sea. The Aral Sea was formed millions of years ago, when a depression in modern-day Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan filled with water from the Amu Darya River. This created a massive freshwater lake that supported a rich ecosystem and attracted tens of thousands of people. The Aral Sea is a terminal lake, meaning it has no natural outlet to the ocean, maintaining its level through an equilibrium of river inflows and evaporation. Medieval records show that when one of its feed rivers was disrupted, the sea began to dry up, disappearing by 1417. However, by the 16th century, the rivers resumed their flow, and the sea regained its size by 1517. This historical fluctuation warned of the lake's vulnerability, but it went unheeded. By the late 19th century, the Aral Sea was a bustling region, with over 40,000 fishermen and 3.5 million residents under Russian rule. Russian climatologist Alexander Volokov disparaged the sea as a useless evaporator, a sentiment that later influenced Soviet policy. Stalin's post-World War II ambition to transform nature led to massive irrigation projects diverting water from the Amu Darya and Syr Darya rivers to grow cotton, known as white gold, in Central Asia. The poorly constructed irrigation canals wasted 70% of the diverted water, leaking into the desert. Despite warnings, Khrushchev expanded these reforms, making Uzbekistan the world's largest cotton exporter by 1988. However, the Aral Sea began to recede rapidly in the 1960s, devastating local economies as towns once on the shore found themselves miles from the water. The shrinking sea exposed hidden dangers, like the Aralsk 7 bioweapons lab, leading to suspicions of bubonic plague and arsenic poisoning outbreaks. By 1987, the Aral Sea had split into smaller parts, with salt levels rising and fish dying off. The ecological disaster peaked in 2014, when the East Sea dried up completely, leaving less than 10% of the original lake. The sea's dry bed turned into a toxic dust bowl, with pesticide-laden dust causing widespread health issues, including high cancer rates and infant mortality. Without Throughout the sea, the region experiences extreme temperatures, oscillating between -40°C in winter and 40°C in summer. Local residents, like Yusuf Kamilov, describe the area as resembling the end of the world. Efforts to save the northern part of the Aral Sea in Kazakhstan, aided by $87 million from the World Bank, have shown promise. The Kokaral Dam, completed in 2005, raised water levels by 3.3 meters in just 7 months. This allowed the reintroduction of fish and revitalized the local fishing industry. However, further efforts are threatened by regional instability. Uzbekistan's cotton industry remains vital for its economy, with forced labor policies continuing. The collapse of the Aral Sea is a stark reminder of the dangers of attempting to dominate nature. The story of the Aral Sea is a cautionary tale about human hubris and the delicate balance between economic ambitions and environmental stewardship. While Kazakhstan's efforts to restore the northern Aral Sea have seen success, the southern part within Uzbekistan's territory continues to deteriorate. The Uzbek government, heavily reliant on cotton for economic stability, has been less proactive in addressing the environmental disaster. The Aral Sea's desiccation is exacerbated by political complexities, with neighboring countries like Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan also exploiting water resources for hydroelectric power, further reducing the inflow into the Aral Sea. Restoring the southern Aral Sea would require unprecedented cooperation among these Central Asian nations, along with significant international support. Yet, with the current political climate and economic dependencies, such cooperation remains a distant hope. The ongoing environmental degradation continues to pose severe health risks to local populations. Despite the bleak situation, there are glimmers of hope. International organizations and NGOs are raising awareness and providing aid to the affected communities. Small-scale projects aimed at improving water management and agricultural practices offer potential pathways to mitigate the worst effects of the disaster. These efforts, however, need to be scaled up significantly to make a substantial impact. Moreover, the story of the Aral Sea has become a powerful symbol in the global environmental movement. It serves as a stark reminder of the potential consequences of unsustainable development and the urgent need for sustainable water management practices. The Aral Sea disaster underscores the importance of balancing economic growth with environmental preservation to ensure the long-term health and prosperity of both people and ecosystems. The tale of the Aral Sea is a multifaceted narrative of human ambition and environmental neglect. It highlights the profound impact that large-scale engineering projects can have on natural systems and the dire consequences of ignoring ecological warnings. Consider subscribing to our channel for new content.